Hi, friends. This week, we're going to be thinking about main characters when we read, and also we're going to be thinking about how sometimes pictures tell us more than words do in our books. A few weeks ago, I read The Book with No Words, which is one of our favorites, and that has no pictures, but this book has pictures that tell us sometimes more than the words. So let's take a look. This book is called Officer Buckle and Gloria. It's written by Peggy Rathman. So take a look at the cover, and we use our schema and we think about, that looks like a police officer, and the title is Officer Buckle, so that must be Officer Buckle. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Napville. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77, never stand on a swivel chair. Uh-oh. This picture tells us that Officer Buckle just learned the hard way, didn't he? It looks like he fell off of that swivel chair as he's trying to put up safety tips. That's funny. I hope he's okay. Officer Buckle shared his safety tips with the students at Napville School. Nobody ever listened. Sometimes there was snoring. Look at that boy and that girl. They look like they're sleeping in the picture. And Officer Buckle does not look happy. We learn a lot about our emotions and our feelings. Look at his face. Look at his body. Oh, and I see a paper airplane being thrown towards him. How rude. Afterward, it was business as usual. Mrs. Topple, the principal, took down the welcome banner. Never stand on a swivel chair, said Officer Buckle, but Mrs. Topple didn't hear him. Uh-oh. Then one day, Napville's police department bought a police dog named Gloria. When it was time for Officer Buckle to give the safety speech at the school, Gloria went along. Children, this is Gloria, announced Officer Buckle. Gloria obeys my commands. Gloria, sit. And Gloria sat. Officer Buckle gave safety tip number 1. Keep your shoelaces tied. And children sat up and stared. Now we look at this picture, and are they staring at Officer Buckle? What are they staring at? Officer Buckle checked to see if Gloria was sitting at attention. She was. He doesn't notice, does he? Safety tip number 2, said Officer Buckle. Always wipe up spills before someone slips and falls. And children's eyes popped. Do you see what they're looking at? It's not Officer Buckle. They're watching Gloria doing a headstand. And he looks at her, and he checked on Gloria again. Good dog, he said. Officer Buckle thought of a safety tip he had discovered that morning. He doesn't even know what's going on, does he? Never leave a thumbtack where you might sit on it. The audience roared. Oh, they are laughing hysterically at Gloria. Officer Buckle grinned. He said the rest of the tips with plenty of expression. The children clapped their hands and cheered. Some of them laughed until they cried. Officer Buckle was surprised. He had never noticed how funny safety tips could be. After this safety speech, there wasn't a single accident. Oh, he looks very pleased with himself, very happy. The next day, an enormous envelope arrived at the police station. It was stuffed with thank you letters from the students at Napville School. Wow. Every letter had a drawing of Gloria on it. Officer Buckle thought the drawing showed a lot of imagination. Do you see what they drew on each letter? Gloria. His favorite letter was written on a star-shaped piece of paper. It said, "You and Gloria make a good team. Your friend, Claire. P.S. I always wear a crash helmet. Safety tip number 7. And she drew a picture of herself wearing a helmet. And she drew them. Officer Buckle was thumbtacking Claire's letter to his bulletin board when the phone started ringing. Grade schools, high schools, and daycare centers were calling about the safety speech. Officer Buckle, they said, our students want to hear your safety tips, and please bring along that police dog. Officer Buckle told his safety tips to 313 schools. Everywhere he and Gloria went, children sat up and listened. After every speech, Officer Buckle took Gloria out for ice cream. Officer Buckle loved having a buddy. There he is taking her out for ice cream, and they sure do look like best friends. Then one day, a television news team videotaped Officer Buckle in the State College auditorium. When he finished safety tip number 99, do not go swimming during electrical storms, the students jumped to their feet and applauded. That means clap loudly and enthusiastically. You see what they see. Look at Gloria. Bravo, bravo, they cheered. Officer Buckle bowed again and again. Does he think all the applause is for him? That night, Officer Buckle watched himself on the 10 o'clock news. The next day, the principal of Napville School telephoned the police station. Good morning, Officer Buckle. It's time for our safety speech. Officer Buckle frowned. I'm not giving any more speeches. Nobody looks at me anyway. Oh, said Mrs. Topple. Well, how about Gloria? Could she come? We see when we look at the picture, Officer Buckle does not look happy because he now realizes after seeing the news that the crowd is really laughing and enthusiastic about seeing Gloria, not him. Someone else from the police station gave Gloria a ride to the school. Gloria sat on stage looking lonely. Yep, she sure does. Gloria left and Napville School had its biggest accident ever. It started with a puddle of banana pudding. Splat, splatter, sploosh. Everyone slid smack into Mrs. Topple, who screamed and let go of her hammer. Oh no! What a mess, boys and girls. This illustration really shows a mess. The next morning, a pile of letters arrived at the police station. Every letter had a drawing of the accident. Officer Buckle was shocked. At the bottom of the pile was a note written on a paper star. Officer Buckle smiled. The note said, "Gloria missed you yesterday. Your friend Claire. P.S. Don't worry, I was wearing my helmet. Safety tip number 7. Gloria gave Officer Buckle a big kiss on the nose. Officer Buckle gave Gloria a nice pat on the back. Then Officer Buckle thought of his best safety tip yet. They sure are a good team. Safety tip number 101. Always stick with your buddy. The end. So the main characters, boys and girls, of Officer Buckle and Gloria are Officer Buckle and Gloria. There are a lot of other characters in the book, but they're not the main characters, the characters that the story is mostly about. And we saw so many pictures that made us realize how the characters were feeling and sometimes what was going on that the words didn't tell us.